We are back on the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. It is time for today's Ultimate Five. Chris, giving us a little hint on what that Ultimate Five is going to be about.
This was a postcard sent to me by Jordan Morris, by the way.
Yeah, signed by J-Mo.
It's got signature right there,
looking
Paul.
good,
Not
man.
bad.
A little celebration there. Hopefully the Sounders will have another celebration sometime in their near future. We are looking for the top 5 Sounders of all time. Let's bring in Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer once again. And also producer Joel Knipp for his top 5 Sounders. Joel, I hope you got your hard hat on today because you could take another beat down.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm going to get a whooping here for sure.
All right, start us off with number 5.
All right, Joel. Let's go, buddy.
We got number 5, Roger Levesque.
Oh, Joel.
Played with the USL, original Sounder. Who could forget when he scored the goal against Portland in 2009? He starts running around looking for Nate Jaco. Jaco comes over, stops him, and starts chopping him down. The Portland fans loved that.
No, the Portland fans hated it, Joel. And I love Roger Levesque. I'm going to let Coach and Paul chime in. I love Roger Levesque. Always a great interview. He doesn't get into my top 5, though. I'm just going to be honest. Roger, I apologize.
Chris, fan favorite.
He was a fan favorite.
Brian?
He could be number 1 on the list of all-time great goal celebrations because Joel is correct. Yeah. Then he had the scuba diver going over the edge of the signboards, and Nate Jaco and the chop, and he's a tremendous character, funny guy off the field, just kind of a quirky guy from the East Coast. Number 1 in goal-scoring celebrations.
Okay, I agree with you there.
Yeah, listen, you got to give Roger a nod. Okay.
See how good he is, Paul, politically? Yeah. He was able to,
That's true. What do you expect? Yeah. All right, take number 4, Joel.
All I heard was Joel was right.
And all I know is if Roger's watching, he's like, thanks, Coach, thanks, Joel. Egan will never talk to you again. Yeah. All right.
I like number 4, man.
Number 4 is Chad Marshall. I know he came over to Seattle later in his career, but the guy was a 3-time MLS Defender of the Year, once with Seattle, best 11 4 times, twice with Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I have him as arguably the best defender in Sounders history, so I have no problem with Chad Marshall being in my top 5. I'll be honest with you, Joel. Yeah. Well done.
Coach, I mean, Chad was a grinder, man. He really brought the lunch pail to work every day, and I'm sure you appreciated what he did.
As far as center backs are concerned, Chad was probably top number 1 or 2. Look, if we're going through eras, I don't know if we're going back to the NASL or the USL A-League or just sticking to MLS, but Zach Scott, as I mentioned there, is a tough as nails center back. Ymar, Chad. I mean, we've had a lot of good choices. Jackson Reagan certainly is going to put his name out there in the next episode of our top 5 Sounders of all players of all time. But I would agree that Chad would be the best locker room dancer. He's number 1 on that list because he used to, listen to Taylor Swift and some songs there. So that's number 1. And
Taylor
Joel,
Swift.
I'm going to agree with you again that Chad could be on that top 5 list.
Could be.
Look at Joel, man.
So
all right.
good.
I'll take it.
Surviving so far, Joel. Take us to number 3.
Number 3, Ozzie Alonso.
Oh, yeah.
Arguably the best defensive midfielder of all time in MLS history. He spent 10 seasons in Seattle. Everyone loved the Badger.
Yeah, a lot of fire there, Coach.
Well, that's maybe your first miss.
Oh.
Because Ozzy's probably number 1 on my list. So that's kind of like, I know Chris said I was number 1 on his list, but on my list, it's Ozzy, the heart and soul of our club for so many big games, big opportunities. You got Nico, Clint, Oba, Casey, Chad, everybody, but Ozzy was really the heart of the club. And, good choice at number 3 for you, but higher up on my list.
Coach, I don't even have a camera anymore. It's Ozzie Alonso taking over my camera.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, listen, as long as he's in the top 5, Joel, we'll give you a win there. What's number 2?
Number 2, we got Deuce, Clint Dempsey. I'm sure you guys remember back when they signed him, They had the big unveiling at then CenturyLink Field back in August of 2013. The crowd just went nuts when they signed him. It was probably the biggest signing at that moment in Sounders history.
A big name. 47 goals, Joel. I have him in my top 5. Like the coach, I got Ozzie ahead of Clint, but he definitely was a big name star that came to Seattle, and I remember going many times to Starfire. And the thing I loved about Clint, he would take time after practice because there was always hundreds of kids there wanting his autograph, and he'd always take time along with all the other players signing those soccer balls. So he was fun to cover. 47 goals. He's in my top 5. I got Ozzie ahead of him though.
I would say this about Clint. So Clint and Oba, maybe Raul is in the conversation there. As far as forwards are concerned, we had 2 of the best forwards in MLS. When they played together, when Oba and Deuce played together, it was a sight to see. They were playing street soccer. They were miles ahead of some of the defenders we played against. Clint, humble man. Chris, that is a great story. Even in airports, when we were flying commercial and everything, he'd try and get his hoodie on and everything, hide over here, but people would come find him every time. He would take the photo, do his deuce, and he was really a humble man. I appreciated everything he did for us. Top 5, could be top 5 for me.
Okay.
Could be.
All right.
Could be.
Joel, number 1.
Number 1, Stefan Fry.
Oh, Joel loves his Fry.
14-time playoffs clean sheets. 2016 MLS Cup final was the save when Josie Altidore thought he had a sure goal, and he came out of nowhere and got a glove on it. Called possibly the greatest MLS save of all time. Won two cups with the Sounders, too.
Tough to argue that. Coach.
Oh, I also forgot, Paul. Leads Seattle in appearances, saves, and clean sheets all time.
Man.
Like he's on the top of all their record lists. He's great.
Yeah, longevity alone is something in any professional sport. But go ahead, Chris, before we get to Coach.
I'm going to let Coach have the last word. Joel, I have Fry in my top 5. Where I'm concerned right now, Joel, as I look at this list, and I'm just honestly, this is where, Roger, I love you. Roger Levesque, I love you. But Nico Ladero, Joel, all-time assist leader in Sounders history, led the Sounders to 2 MLS Cups. Nowhere in your top 5, Nico Ladero. Christian Roldan, Joel. Christian Roldan, come on, not on your list. Honorable mentions for me, Roger Davies, Jimmy McAllister, Alan Hinton, and Casey Keller. But not to have Nico in there, Joel, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not happy about that.
Nico Ladero, huh?
Yeah.
He was the straw that stirred the drink, Joel.
Acting like you've never even heard of Nico Ladero, Joel?
Yeah.
Come on.
Coach, chime in.
I'm in agreement with Chris. And look, I'm going to try and be a little politically correct here. I don't know if I'm going to have the chance to give you my absolute top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because look, Ozzie might be my guy, but, Clint and Oba, Casey Keller, we haven't talked about him, Stefan Fry, Marcus Hanneman. We've had such tremendous goalkeeping. Andrew Thomas now should be with the national team. Nico was the guy, the motor that drove the championship in 2016 and 2019 and the CONCACAF Champions Cup in 2022. You have to have Nico in your top 5 list. I think Steph, Nico, Ozzie, those are the top 3. Everyone else, Clint, Oba, Casey, Chad, Zach. Yes, I'm glad you guys, Roger Davies, Peter Ward, Jeff Hurst, the only goal scorer who had 3 goals in a World Cup final, actually played a year for the Seattle Sounders way back in 1976. So Sounders have always had big players. Tough choice trying to rank them 1 through 5 or even 1 through 50.
Well, and Coach, you could throw Jordan Morris, Mercer Island's own, Rui Diaz into the mix
Freddie
as well.
Montero.
Freddie Montero. I mean, so many names.
Freddie Montero.
That's why it's easy for me. I got Schmetzer number 1, Paul. It's easy.
Oh, Chris, Kobe Nisaka. We didn't say best coaches of all time. Definitely he'd be out there.
Well, obviously, Joel, you didn't see Brian play on the field because he was pretty good back in the day.
Listen,
I've heard.
I love Brian shouting out the NASL too. Peter Ward back in the day. today. And Alan Hinton coaching that team in the 1982 Soccer Bowl, losing only to the Cosmos and Giorgio Canaglia. So, again, I'm a huge fan of the NASL days to show you how old I am, but I'm glad you brought up those guys as well, Brian.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of history in our city with the Sounders back, starting in 1974, Memorial Stadium, going into the Kingdom. We played against Pelé. That was the opening of the Kingdom.
Right.
I think the Sounders even had the soft opening of Lumen Field. We played the Whitecaps, I believe. We beat them 3-1. A lot of history, a lot of local guys. Hey, look, let's talk about Pepe Fernandez, Frank Barton making homes here in the city of Seattle. Alan, Jimmy Gabriel, we can't forget about Jimmy, God rest his soul. So there were so many people that touched the soccer community in the city of Seattle. We're proud to be part of all of that, and let's hope that Christian can make a big run, and the U.S. comes here, and we really have a good experience here in June with the World Cup.
Hey, Coach, I got Nico Ladero on my phone. He wants Joel's number, but I'll hold off on giving it to him.
Hey, Chris, I have Freddie Lundberg on the line. He's going,
Oh, come on, Joel.
Freddie, there's another good one. I mean, there's so many names, and there's so many famous players that we've had.
Yeah, you are so right, Brian. So much great history with the franchise, and we appreciate you coming on, and enjoy the rest of your break, Coach, and we'll see you when you guys get back in action.
All right, take care, guys.